What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jamon, man. I'm back at it again. Today we got I think the NBA is broken. If you're new to the channel, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, help your boy grow. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Man, we're on the road to a mil, but look, man, let's get it, man. Yeah, let's get right into it.
Made a video about how NBA players are scoring less points this season, and rule changes have made high-scoring games harder to come by than ever before. Well, things have changed.
Ooh, a fresh pie? Save me a slice. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's... Alright, that's good. Okay. Alright.
Wait, that's what's going on right now?
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough slices!
Over the last couple of weeks, players are dropping more 50 bombs than Kobe in '07. Collectively, the entire league spent the first 3 months of the season going through the worst scoring droughts in over a decade. But now, seemingly out of nowhere, we are getting massive scoring nights and career highs literally every single night.
So what's going on?
Bump in scoring due to some sort of competitive race? One guy has a big night and others join in to see if they can top it. Are players putting up bigger numbers because the league has decided to relax on the strict rule changes they made at the beginning of the season? Or is something much bigger going on here?
I don't know. Jimmy Hard Roller.
Today's video is brought to you by DraftKings. It's March, and y'all know what that means. The big tournament is here. Teams are fighting for a shot at this, my friends.
Tough.
Team scoring was down, player scoring was down, and efficiency was down. Among the top players in the league, there virtually wasn't a single player who was outperforming expectations, or even meeting expectations for that matter. We saw the first 50-point game of the season on November 8th, just 19 days after the start of the season. We wouldn't see the second 50-point game until December 12th, 2.5 months into the season and just two 50-point games to show for it. Things began to heat up a bit in January with 4 50-point games in a single month. And closing out the end of February, the league added 2 more 50-point bombs, bringing the season total up to just 8. But on that last day of February, Ja Morant dropped a career-high 52 points against the Spurs.
Ja Morant been going
And then
crazy.
all hell broke loose. 5 days later, LeBron drops 56 points.
I mean, LeBron is the
third
GOAT, you
highest
know.
single game total of his entire
I'm just saying.
career. The next day,
He's the
Jason
GOAT.
Tatum scores 54. 2 days later, Kyrie Irving scores 50 points. 3 days later,
Everybody
LeBron
wanna be
scores
like
50.
LeBron.
2 days after that, Durant drops 53 points in just his 5th game back off of an injury. The next day, Karl Anthony Towns drops a career high 60 points. And then the very next day, Kyrie Irving pops off for a career high 60 points as well. The man is a part-time NBA player. And right when you thought,
Bro, what do you think he's doing on his off?
Over, said,
What do you think he's doing on his off days? Talking about a part-time NBA player. What do you think he's doing on his off days? Getting buckets.
Deke freaking Bay drops a career high 51 points.
Kyrie is
against
above
the
this
Magic.
matrix, man.
What's going on? Usually NBA fans are lucky if we get to watch a couple 50-point games in a single month. We just saw 9 50-plus point games in 18 days. In fact, the 8 50-point games in the month of March are the most in a single month in 60 years. Guys, we are only 18 days into the month. And if that isn't crazy enough, here's a stat that'll really hurt your head. Out of the last 20 NBA seasons, only 9 of them had more than 8 50-point performances for the entire season. Which means in just 18 days, the NBA has produced more 50-point games than 11 of the last 20 seasons.
Damn.
Just a few months ago, we were watching superstars struggle to even get 30. And now we got Kyrie Irving scoring 41 points in the first half, Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench for 45, and an old man going for 56.
What you mean an old man? The fucking
changed?
GOAT!
Well,
That's the GOAT,
I
boy.
think the explanation behind all these massive offensive games is very simple. Steph drops 47 on his birthday. Karl Anthony
Damn, I didn't mean to pause it.
Towns puts up a career-high 60 on the anniversary of a very significant day in his life. Kyrie and Durant each having monster games.
Okay, see,
after
then
the
it
game,
meant something to him.
Philly
He went
James
hard.
Harden. I think I see what's going on here. The NBA's best players are playing one big game of anything you can do, I can do better. Fueled by their innately competitive nature, these players are finding absolutely any reason to tee off on 30 shots and throw the playbook out the window as they barrel their way into the paint for another and one. John Morant's 52-point game was the first of this 3-week-long scoring barrage. But I think it really started with LeBron's 56.
Exactly, because
After
LeBron is
much
the
more
GOAT. Everybody want to be like
Stars
LeBron. That's what I
took
just
the
said.
opportunity to one-up him, or at least put on their best show. The Celtics have been on fire, so Tatum decides to take the liberty of giving himself a huge night by putting up a career-high 15 three-point attempts. Now, no one goes out and just attempts 15 threes, and those 54 points were no mistake. Jason Tatum went out of his way to have
score.
a career night.
Exactly.
In the midst of talks regarding health and politics, Kyrie drops off a 50-point game. As a reminder that despite his part-time status, he too is one of the league's most elite
Exactly, yeah.
players.
Let him know.
As the weeks
Let
go
him know.
on, more and more
Let him
stars
know.
join in
I'm
on the
Kyrie.
scoring frenzy. Trae Young
Simple.
goes for 47, but is overshadowed by a 53-point performance by KD.
KD's
So he comes back
buns.
with
KD's
46
buns,
points
but,
the
you
very
know.
next night.
Okay.
But is outdone once again by Stephen Curry's 47-point birthday special
Curry's
and
nasty.
Cat's
Y'all know what
60
up.
points explosion. All on the same exact day. And as if things couldn't
I
get
don't know.
any more out of hand, Kyrie follows up the performance of the season by matching Towns' 60 with a 60 bomb of his own.
Let him
One
know.
thing I've
He
been
Kyrie,
absolutely
bro.
sure of for years is that the best scorers in the NBA could average 40 a game if they wanted to. And if the past couple weeks isn't proof of that, I'm not sure what is. Because when you can score at the level of Steph and Durant and Kyrie, the difference between 30 and 50 is simply shooting more shots, which might
Exactly.
possibly be the most obvious statement
That's
of
a
the year.
crazy shot,
But
bro.
many fans disagree with this idea. Oftentimes their rebuttal being, if they could average 40 a night,
On your
why
neck.
don't they? To which I can assume that person has never really played basketball before. Because despite being the best offensive options on their teams, these ultra-elite offensive talents can't just put up 30 shots a game. That would be a locker room disaster. Teammates would feel uninvolved, the offense would become stagnant, and it just isn't winning basketball. Michael Jordan ran into this problem a lot prior to the
Damn.
1998 season. Mike was scoring 40 points literally every other game for 3 years. He even had a stretch where he scored 40-plus points in 12 of 14 games. The dude could get a bucket at will. But it took him years to realize this style of play was never going to win him a championship. And as he found the exact role his team needed him to play, he began to win more and more as he scored the ball less and less. Trust me, if Kevin Durant
It
wanted
makes
to
sense.
average 40 a game, he could and would. If Giannis wanted to, he could. In fact, I'd argue that there are about a dozen players in the NBA right now that could go out and give you 40 a night if that was their sole mission. KD, Giannis, Steph, Kyrie, Harden.
Take the time out. He better say LeBron, but take the time out to drop a like on this video. Subscribe if y'all haven't already, man. Click the bell, too.
LeBron, Ja,
Yeah,
Trae,
you better say
Jokic,
LeBron.
Tatum, all of them can give you insane scoring numbers every night. But like every great player knows, that will never get them to their ultimate goal. Take Kevin Durant, for example. Top 5 bucket getter in NBA history, but doesn't have crazy scoring averages. This season, when Durant scores 30 points or more, his numbers look like this. Now, when he scores between 20 and 30 points this season, his shooting numbers look like this. The only real difference is how many shots he's putting up. Now, riddle me this. If Durant's efficiency is nearly the exact same from 20 points to 30 points, do you think his efficiency would change from 30 points to 40? Time's up. The answer is no. Durant, among other offensive stars, could absolutely give you crazy numbers every night if that was their only objective. And over the last 3 weeks, we've seen what happens when stars make scoring their only objective. But I think possibly the most glaring
been
example
going
of this
crazy.
came back in 1994. Going into the last game of the season, a 21-year-old Shaquille O'Neal and prime David Robinson were neck and neck in the race for the scoring title. Both players having an average of exactly 29.3 points per game. In his last game of the season with the scoring title on the line, Shaq scored 32 points, keeping his scoring average virtually the same as it was before.
Oh, Shaq
But
different.
apparently David Robinson wanted the scoring title just a bit more than Shaq did, since Robinson exploded for a career-high 71 points in the final game of the season.
Look at his
bringing
dunk
his
shot.
scoring
Come
average
on,
from
water.
29.3 to 29.8 and securing the scoring title for the season. Now, both Shaq and David played their last games of the season on the same night, but David's game was earlier in the day, which means he had to put up as many points as possible in hopes that Shaq wouldn't top him later that day. So going into the game, David and the Spurs had one goal and one goal only. Give David the ball and get him as many points as humanly possible. Those 71 points were not a fluke. This historic night was no accident. David wanted to score a lot of points, and so he did just that. And there was nothing anyone could do about it. In an interview after the game, Robinson said, "It was unbelievable. As a leader, I just try to win games, but tonight my team really wanted me to shoot it. When the game started, they were looking for me almost every time down the court." Shaq also commented on Robinson's big night, saying, "They ran every play for him. If I hadn't been triple teamed and was selfish and tried to score every time I touched the ball, I could have scored 72. Like I said, big scoring nights are no fluke for great offensive players. If they want to go out and give you 50, they will go out and give you 50. Which brings us back to this unbelievable 3-week stretch of NBA basketball. Game after game of huge scoring nights and career highs. You know, it's too bad these players really want to win. Otherwise, we'd see this stuff far more often. There's nothing like tuning into a game and watching history unfold in real time. Watching the crowd erupt shot after shot, knowing the man with the hot hand is coming down the court with only a bucket on his mind and nothing the defense can do to stop it. When a great player decides he wants to go off, he's gonna go off. And when a dozen great players decide they want to go off, you get 50-point games every other night.
Ooh.
So I guess these games aren't really unbelievable. In fact, they're all part of the plan. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Alright, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, man. Catch me in the next one.